Welcome, everyone. So if you've ever looked up at the clouds and thought, man, I really want to be up there at the controls, well, you are in exactly the right place today. We're going to be unpacking the Indian Aircraft Rules 1937 together. Specifically, we're diving deep into Schedule 2, Section B. We'll be looking at the exact statutory requirements for getting your Indian student pilot license. You know, it's really the official first step into the aviation world, so let's figure out exactly how the whole shebang works.
So, what does it actually take to legally fly a plane in India? I mean, we constantly see the glamour of aviation, right? The crisp uniforms, those incredible cockpit views. But beneath all of that is a very strict bedrock of statutory rules. Our goal in today's explainer is to just completely demystify all that heavy aviation jargon and build you a crystal-clear roadmap straight to the cockpit.
Okay, so your journey officially starts with the Student Pilot License, or the SPL. Honestly, just think of the SPL as the ultimate learner's permit for the sky. It's the fundamental authorization that legally allows an individual to fly within Indian territory as the pilot in command. And look, that is a massive responsibility, which is exactly why the source text makes it very, very clear this is done under extremely strict supervision.
Okay, let's dive into this. Like any great pilot, we need a solid pre-flight checklist, so here is our agenda for today. 1. The aspiring aviator prerequisites. 2. Passing the knowledge tests. 3. Your privileges and strict limits. And 4. License validity and issuance.
Starting with Section 1, the aspiring aviator prerequisites.
Now, before you ever even touch a flight control, you absolutely have to meet a strict age requirement. And what's really interesting here is just how incredibly specific the rules are. You must be exactly 16 years of age on the actual date of your application. Seriously, you can't just apply when you're 15 and 11 months, kind of hoping the paperwork processes in time. No way. You must have officially crossed that 16th birthday milestone to get things started.
Right, so once you've hit that magic number, there are a few more background checks to tick off. Academically, you just need to have passed your Class 10 or an equivalent board exam. Then comes a pretty massive hurdle for a lot of people, medical fitness. The rules strictly dictate a Class 1 or Class 2 medical assessment only. A K-35 medical assessment is explicitly excluded. That is non-negotiable. And finally, because aviation is, a highly secure environment, getting a successful police verification is totally mandatory.
Moving on to Section 2, passing the knowledge tests.
Assuming your paperwork and your health are in perfect order, you've got to prove you actually understand the highly complex environment of the sky. The statutory text is beautifully clear here. It states exactly, she or he shall pass oral examination in following subjects. And reading that exact text really adds some official gravity to this, doesn't it? It's not some multiple-choice test you can just guess your way through. It is an oral examination. You have to verbally demonstrate real, tangible competence under pressure.
So, you're going to be tested across 5 specific subjects. First up is air regulations, basically knowing the literal laws of the sky. Second is air navigation, how to safely route yourself from point A to point B. Third is aviation meteorology, because let's face it, grasping weather patterns is literally a matter of life and death up there. Fourth is technical general, which covers the broad principles of how aircraft operate, and finally technical specific, which zeroes right in on the exact aircraft you'll be flying, like a Cessna 172 for example. But here's the thing. To even sit for these oral exams, you need a ground class training certificate. This has to be officially conducted and issued by a flight training organization, or an FTO. There is a tiny caveat in the rules though. Unless you fall into a very specific exemption category, like say being a conversion student or having already cleared all your DGCA exams, you absolutely cannot bypass this FTO training requirement. It's a must.
All right, on to Section 3, your privileges and strict limits.
So, you finally have the license in hand. What power does it actually give you? Well, you're permitted to fly within Indian territory, act as pilot in command, and fly aeroplanes, helicopters, gliders, or light sport aircraft that are entered in your rating. But the prohibitions, they are strict. You cannot fly outside of visual flight rules, meaning you must always have visual reference to the ground. You definitely cannot fly for any sort of hire or reward. And importantly, you cannot carry passengers, goods, or animals. So yes, you'll definitely have to leave your pet dog at home during your student flights.
Also, you got to remember that under this license, you are flying under the authority and strict supervision of a flight instructor at all times. Now, if you want to fly solo,
The rules state that solo flights can only be conducted if you hold an FRTL-R or an FRTL. That's a Flight Radio Telephone Operator's License. Put simply, if you're going to be completely alone in that aircraft, you absolutely must be legally certified to communicate over the aviation radios.
And finally, Section 4, License Validity and Issuance.
Let's talk about the administrative lifespan of this permit. When your SPL is issued, it is valid for a full 10 years from the date of issue. 10 years. That is an incredibly generous window. It gives you this expansive, decade-long time frame to log your hours, practice your maneuvers, and really work your way up toward a full commercial license.
But wait, there is a massive catch to that decade-long timeline. That 10-year validity is strictly subject to the ongoing validity of your medical Class 1 or Class 2 assessment. If you let your medical assessment lapse for even a day, that validity instantly drops to 0. Boom, you are completely grounded. Your student pilot license is literally only ever as valid as your current medical fitness.
To wrap up the administrative side of things, it really helps to understand exactly who handles your paperwork. It's a very clear division of labor between two key bodies. Your flight training organization, the FTO, is the entity right there on the ground that conducts your exams and actually issues the SPL to you. On the other side is the DGCA, the Directorate General of Civil Aviation. Their vital role is to verify the license at the governmental level.
So, we've explored the strict age constraints, the rigorous oral exams, your very specific flight privileges, and those 10-year validity rules. After all that, I want to leave you with this question. Are you ready to meet the demanding standards of Series B, Part 2, and actually take command of the sky? The runway is clear, the statutory path is totally structured, and that very first step is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep learning and keep looking up.